If you really want to understand Cody Johnson, well, we have to take you out on the highway when he was running low on cash but full of determination. This week on The Record, Cody opens up about the sacrifices that proved his heart has always belonged to country music.
We drove from Mount Rushmore to Omaha, Nebraska to make the next gig, and I had $100 left over from what we've been doing, and I had a choice to either put the $100 in the gas tank or get something to eat. So I chose the gas tank. That's how much I love country music. That's how much I from the very beginning, wanted to be in front of people playing and sharing that piece of my soul. And I'd do it again in a minute. I'd do it 100 times over.
From FFA performances to becoming your new CMA Male Vocalist of the Year, he's a certified arena sellout, and he brings every crowd to its feet. Cody gets real about the fire that drives his live shows and that rush of owning the stage.
There's nothing I love more in the world than getting up in front of people and showing them a piece of my soul. You have a crowd of 20,000, sometimes more, 50, 60,000 right there. And you got them, and you know you do. And you keep that line between confidence and arrogance just in check enough to where you get to taste a little bit of it, and you've moved everybody at the same time. There's no feeling like it.
Every now and then, a song comes along that feels bigger than the music itself. For Cody, The Fall was exactly that. It gives us a glimpse into why this song was one he just could not ignore.
I think when I heard The Fall, I just kind of thought, the ride, the fall, you think about Cowboy.
Cowboy, bull ride.
That fits, but the ride could be anything, and the fall could be anything. So the relatability to everyone across the world, no matter what their walk of life is what really struck me with that song.
True as a Bible verse, my heart skips just thinking of you. Go on and bet it all, baby, we can. Ooh.
Welcome to On the Record, presented by John Deere, coming to you from the BMI building in Nashville, Tennessee, where they're about to celebrate this man right here. Congratulations on your latest #1, I'm Gonna Love You, Mr. Cody Johnson.
Thank you.
So I want to talk to you about this, man. I mean, it was #1 back in March. Yeah. You're firing on all cylinders right now. You don't have the time to celebrate. It's important to stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we wanted to obviously celebrate, immediately, and I think we all did. Carrie's doing her thing out in LA and back and forth, and I've been on tour like crazy and kind of starting to work on a new record, and my wife's due with our baby boy in October. Getting ready for the Kojo Championship event, the team roping in Texas coming up. We went in March. We were overseas. We played Scotland, Ireland, London. We played 4 shows in Australia, New Zealand. So yeah, I was just going to be in town this week doing some work, and we thought, while we're here, we should probably have the #1 party. So
that's incredible. I want to talk to you about working with Carrie Underwood. I heard from the very get-go, you said, this is the one I want on the song. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. Pretty certain on that.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just feel like, God makes everything happen for a reason. My daughters love Carrie's music, so obviously, and I've been listening to her since, her very beginning. But me, I'm more like, if I'm driving down the road in the truck, I'm listening to old Merle Haggard and stuff like that. So there's a lot of new artists that I find out, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was them, because I'd stay so glued to the old classics, But the minute I heard this demo, let me back up. The first time I heard the demo, it was on hold for Travis Denning, one of the writers.
Right.
And that didn't work out. And I didn't know that Carrie had gotten the song, and it was, talked about, and then it didn't work out. But whenever I said, where did that song go for Leather? I said, where did it go? And then we got it. And I said, Carrie Underwood. And there were some other people in the room that named a few other female artists, a few of the artists that I have a pretty good personal relationship with. And I love them, but I heard Carrie in my head. I just knew it's got to be Carrie. If it's not her, I just don't know if I'm going to cut it. And being the second time that the song came into her life, she was gracious enough to say yes.
There's something that I think so many of us that admire you. There was a certainty. There was a confidence. I think it was the second time that you met your now wife, Brandy, that you guys pretty much knew this is it.
No, it was the first night.
First night?
Yeah.
But when you were teenagers?
Well, she was a teenager.
She was...
I met her in a bar that she probably shouldn't have been in. And I proposed to her on the dance floor. I said, we're going to get married. And I just knew. And so a year later, we were engaged, and a year later we got married.
That is incredible.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, when you know, you know. That confidence, though, really kind of directs you, not only throughout your career, but personal life. It's something that you lean on. It seems to drive you with purpose.
There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And I've never wanted to cross that line. But I always look at life like a prize fight. I'm not going to walk into the arena, and say, well, maybe I'll win. No, we're here to win.
Yeah.
Every time. If I say that's the song, then that's the song, because I've thought about it enough, and I'm confident enough in my own decision-making capabilities, and the preparation that I've had my entire career leading up to this point to know when something's right or when something's wrong. That's not to say that I don't have a very strategic team placed around me, especially with songs, and and even my personal life, surrounding myself with men that will call me out on stuff and direct me to a better path if I am wrong. And if I get told, man, that's not it, then I've also got the confidence enough to say, hey, I was wrong.
Well, I got to tell you, I saw some old video of you when you were an FFA kid on stage.
I hope y'all are not about to do a cutaway of that.
And I know it was your FFA teacher that told you, hey, man, join a band. You have the opportunity to win this talent contest. I watched you on stage. You had the command of that stage, even at that age. That confidence was there. I say it's almost like you're born to the breed. It's in your DNA. Was your father like that?
No, I grew up singing in church, and I was considered in the church family that I grew up around. I was kind of the wild child, because I just wanted to go out and play bars and really go do the thing. I wanted to go out on the road and riding bulls at a pretty young age and stuff like that. There's no in a professional capacity, there's nothing I love more in the world than getting up in front of people and showing them a piece of my soul and just giving it to them and saying, here, you can have a little bit of my soul tonight. I'm going to let you have it. And also watching people, when you hit the certain note, or you have a crowd of 20,000, sometimes more, 50, 60,000 right there, and you got them, and you do. And you keep that line between confidence and arrogance just in check enough to where you get to taste a little bit of it, and you've moved everybody at the same time. There's no feeling like it.
It's quite a high.
I love that just as much as I love turning it off, though, and going home and just being dad and just being a husband and a cattle rancher and a horseman. That's that side of me.
Yeah.
But this side of me, there's nothing I love more than entertaining. That's been that way for a long time.
Game on, right? Yeah. I want to talk to you about being a rancher. Nothing like having your own land, running your own head of cattle there in Texas. Tell me a little bit about your operation.
We started 5 years ago when I bought this place, and we started running commercial grade Brahman cattle, cows, and we would put registered Hereford bulls on them, GKB Hereford bulls, and to make a good F1 cross. And the thing about the Brahman market is, when I got in at the right time. I saw a hole in the market where I really bought in pretty cheap. And this year, the Brahman market is absolutely, it's incredible. And so I chose to get out.
Right.
I sold every F1 calf, every Brahman cow, and made quite a very substantial amount of money for a cattle rancher.
At the time of this interview right now, historic highs with the cattle market.
Yes.
So you are a very smart man.
But I was able to take that, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I can afford to go buy whatever cow I want.
Right.
But when it comes to ranching, I pretend that that's the only capital that I have. That way you're always keeping your ranch in check. You don't want to just keep pouring money into something that's going to, that's just a slippery slope. So I took that money and I went and I kept some Black Angus cows that I'd had, still kept my Hereford bulls. So I've got my little play pen at the house. And now we're running 60 head of Charolais mama cows that we're putting Wagyu bulls on and supplying a friend of mine, Chef Austin Simmons, for steaks for his restaurant in Houston that opens in February.
So you're a smart man. That's absolutely true. A lot of folks watching right now, ranchers, producers, you really hit them in the gut with your song Dirt Cheap, and I thought we could play some of that. Let's go ahead and do it. Here it is, Cody Johnson.
And he said, boys, whatever you're offering, it won't be enough. 'Cause I got a little girl that used to swing right there, a still see her pink bow in her brown hair. She's in the big city, but she still calls home. What's she gonna do if she comes back and we're gone? And over there under that white oak tree, beneath the cross is where my best buddy's buried. Lasted 13 hunting seasons running strong. Keep your money cause a man can't leave his dog. And over there's where I got down on one knee. You can't buy that kind of dirt cheap. One man smiled and he kind of looked away. The other said, before we go, I gotta know one thing. Between the droughts and the floods through all the years, what in the world got you through? How the hell did you get here? And he said, that little girl that used to swing right there, I still see her pink bow in her brown hair, running up after one of them long days. Her big smile making every little worry fade. And over there under that white oak tree, beneath the cross where my best buddy's buried, all them hunting seasons freezing in a John boat, me and him double barrel in a two-stroke. And that woman that said yes, but I got down on one knee. You can't buy
everything that is important to me is here.
No, it ain't something you fall into. It's something God gives you, and you hold on to.
Grandpa, Mom, they're here.
Beth, when did you get here?
Hi, Dad.
Honey, you go
Are
back
these people
inside.
friends of yours?
No. Look, he told you last week and the week before that. This land is not for sale.
Go
inside, Dad.
She's in the big city now, but she still calls home. She's coming back next week, and man, it's been too long. And over there under that white oak tree, beside the cross where my best buddy's buried, lays a puppy posted up in the shade. That woman never could turn away astray. I guess that's why she said yes when I got down on one knee. Lord, long as all this is here, why the hell would I ever leave? You can't buy that kind of dirt cheap.
It's dirt cheap. That is Cody Johnson, one of the 25 songs on Leather Deluxe Edition. Man, for you, life is changing. You have a little boy. We're going to be talking about that next. Stay with us. More when we come back.
I want to beat the record. George Strait, I love you, and I've looked up to you my entire life. But I want to beat the record, not because for any other reason, just because I want to break a record.
Right.
And hopefully if I do break the record, maybe it'll give an excuse for old George to come back and break mine.
Stars are gonna light up a midnight sky. The sun's gonna burn on the 4th of July. Tides are gonna turn with the pull of the moon, and I'm gonna love you.
Welcome back to On the Record, hanging out with Cody Johnson, and of course about to be celebrating, having a big party here in Nashville for your number one song, I'm Gonna Love You with Miss Carrie Underwood. I want to talk about your latest, The Fall. The ability to find a song, even if you didn't write it, sounds like you wrote it, sounds like it comes from you. I guarantee you every single person that heard this song said, this is a Cody Johnson song, no doubt.
It's funny you say that, because whenever I was first, writing a song, blank sheet of paper, that's a whole different side of your brain. Listening to a song and figuring out what you can make of it or whether it does fit is a completely different side of your brain. Mm-hmm. When I first started really picking songs and listening to demos and outside songs, I would learn the song on my acoustic and I'd go like in front of my friends or my wife or my parents or anybody else and say, hey, check out this song I wrote the other day. And I'd play it and they'd go, God almighty, that's incredible. I'm like, you think I wrote that? Yeah, you sounds like you. And I'm going, well, perfect. Because if you believed I wrote it, then I've picked the right one.
Yeah.
And that process has gotten easier and easier and easier over the years to when you hear one and you go, that one's straight up and down me.
Yeah, absolutely. When you heard the song, I know Bobby Pinson, one of the co-writers of that. I mean, these guys, do they write for you?
I don't think that this one was. Most of the time, ironically enough, when they try to write a song for me, it's generally the first one that I throw out the window.
Really?
It's just,
Trying
it
too
doesn't,
hard.
yeah, it's trying too hard. It doesn't contain the authenticity that it needs to have in order for it to be me. Most of the stuff I pick is just stuff that's been sitting around that nobody else wanted, or it was a random, like there's a few songs, I've been working on a new record, there was a few songs that the people in the room were like, I'd have never thought you'd have picked that one. And then you cut it, and they're like, oh my God, it was you. And it just, I think when I heard The Fall, I just kind of thought, the ride, the fall, you think about Cowboy.
Cowboy, bull ride.
That fits. But the ride could be anything, and the fall could be anything. So the relatability to everyone across the world, no matter what their walk of life is what really struck me with that song.
The ups and downs of life. And for you, early on, and I don't know how many people know your story, that you literally starved for country music. You had no food at some point early on in your career, just trying to go get some lunch or get some breakfast. I mean, it was hard times for you early on.
Yeah, we were driving from, we drove from Mount Rushmore to Omaha, Nebraska to make the next gig. And I had $100 left over from what we've been doing. And I had a choice to either put the $100 in the gas tank or get something to eat. So I chose the gas tank. That's how much I love country music. That's how much I from the very beginning, wanted to be in front of people playing and sharing that piece of my soul. And I'd do it again in a minute. I'd do it 100 times over.
Your good friend, Miss Reba McEntire, once told me that her father told her, it is not about being at the top. It is about the getting there.
It's all about the getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to make it. And I'm like, I hope I never make it. Because if I make it, then it's over. I always want to have something else that's got
Strive for.
to strive for and bust your butt for.
Yeah. I want to talk about some of your heroes. You mentioned Mr. George Strait, challenging him, of course, with a record-breaking.
It's not a challenge.
I feel like it is. I want to talk about Mr. Merle Haggard, big hero of yours.
Yeah.
You recently had one of the biggest honors, I'm sure it's something that would mean anything to any artist, but for you especially, being a Haggard fan, receiving the Spirit Award from the ACMs.
It was anything tied to Merle Haggard with my name is just one of the greatest honors. George Strait influenced me probably more than anybody as far as being a cowboy, not taking the hat off whenever they wanted to change his name and take the hat off. And he didn't. And it wound up being the king of country music. Yeah. And he's still such a gracious person to be around. He's always been so cordial to me, and he's never lost any integrity in his music. Willie Nelson, being a man that was told no so many times and still became Willie Nelson, that inspired me. And he inspired me in my lyrics and the way I play guitar so much. Chris Ledoux, the crazy wild rock show from the guy with the gold belt buckle and the cowboy hat. And it felt like an AC/DC concert, but it was still just the cowboy. That shaped me more than you'll ever know. But Merle Haggard was a poet. Even in the up-tempo, fun songs, he was still a poet. And I probably have every Merle Haggard song ever recorded on my phone. And most days, that's what's going on in my truck. When I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm frustrated, everything in between, Merle has sang the soundtrack to my life. And he's still the only artist that has ever passed away that I cried like it was a family member. I don't know why. I've opened for him 3 times, got an autograph on my guitar, and man, it hit me in the heart. And it's a point where now my kids have asked, like, when can we go see Merle Haggard in concert? Because I play it so much. My song to my daughter Clara is my favorite memory of all, and my song to my daughter Corey is The Farmer's Daughter. And so it's like Merle is just a part of our family and always will be.
Did you get to exchange words with him and get to talk to him? Did he give you advice, anything that stuck with you?
Nope. It was I was the first of 5 bands, and I said, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, yeah.
And that was it.
Cody Johnson, always a pleasure, man, to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching On the Record, presented by John Deere. And we'll see you next time.